Welcome to DMM Downloads. We are podcasting another conversation about DMM between Jeff Crabtree and me, Rudy Rivera. Jeff and I are teamed together in Northern Colorado in a ministry we call DMM NOCO. DMM NOCO is unleashing disciple-making movements in Northern Colorado, and we thought it a good idea to start a podcast as a way to bring awareness and resourcing to ordinary people who are passionate about making multiplying disciple makers in our natural networks. Thanks for joining us in this journey. We hope you get a DMM download from this conversation. Well, hey guys, we're back for another DMM Downloads podcast. I'm in Timnath. Jeff's in Timnath. We're on Zoom because we're with Tom again, and Tom's in California. And we were just chatting really briefly off the mic, and I threw some crazy questions out. And we decided we think it's better to go a different direction. So we would like to hear Tom speak to a few things. One, it's primarily to a North American audience. We're here in Northern Colorado, okay, but primarily a North American audience. For those of us who are waiting, who are practicing, or maybe we're not seeing a lot happen, we'd love for Tom to share his heart on anyone there in that category, which is probably a lot of us. And then I asked Tom also to speak to any kind of resourcing, like coaching, and kind of also his roles within New Generations and anything that he can offer, and then finding ways we can connect with him if you're listening. So Tom, take it away. We don't know who's listening, but Tom, take it away and speak to that.
Okay, thank you for having me on your podcast again.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to be here. First of all, maybe it'd be helpful to share what I'm doing now with New Generations.
Mm-hmm.
I do coaching, and it's not like a sports coach, where I'm not telling people typically how to do disciple making movement. There's importance of that. There's training. There's resources, as you say, on how to learn about disciple making movement. And so I'm coaching people that are disciple makers. We call them catalysts. And we use the term catalyst because it's somebody who starts something that wouldn't be started without them. But our goal is that it would keep going without them. So catalyst comes and makes a change, then when it's removed, whatever it's touched is already changed. Mm. And so we're looking for someone to come in, spend some time, start something, and let it keep going without them. And probably the biggest difference between disciple-making movement and our more traditional Western approach to missions is that missions traditionally in our churches tends to bring people in. Mm-hmm. Disciple-making movement, the goal of that is to keep something going out that keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Mm. On the cover of my book is a drop of water and a ripple. And the idea of that is something that keeps moving out. Mm-hmm. And so the title that I've been given by the organization I work with, New Generations, is Shepherding Insight Coach. And so my role as a shepherd is to care for the spiritual, emotional, physical needs of people. If their needs aren't met, certainly can't be effective. Mm-hmm. And so caring for people and listening and understanding how they are doing personally. Mm-hmm. So that's the shepherding part. The insight is that we discuss what's going well in their ministry. What can we celebrate? Mm-hmm. What are the challenges you're running into? And the challenge is to have every disciple maker pause regularly and deeply reflect and prayerfully look at their ministry. How is it going? What challenges do we have? How can we overcome those challenges? And so you take that time of reflection, and then the coaching is helping someone, the person I'm coaching, identify specific steps that they can take in this next days, weeks, or month to make progress, to move forward, how to make course corrections or changes, or re-emphasize things. And then we follow up next month, how did that go? And
Mm.
and really, whether it went well or if it didn't go well, it doesn't really matter. What do we learn from it? How can we? And I think the beautiful thing about disciple making movement, as most of the people practice it, is we're not afraid to fail. We're trying something new. We're trying something different. And
Mhm.
so everything that you do, you try something and then you evaluate it. You look at
Mhm.
it and learn from it. And we call
Mhm.
that falling forward. If you learn
Mhm.
from it, you can do something maybe a little different or make some changes to it in the future. But as long as you're learning, you're falling forward. That's what we're looking for.
Mm.
And one of
That's
the things
awesome.
that I found in the United States is that spiritually, things move a lot slower here. Um,
Mm.
and I know that can be frustrating for people. When we want to start a movement, you want to start small. Uh, we look at what's happening overseas. We see these big movements. We want to plant that tree here in our garden,
Mm.
but it's really not effective. You can't really plant a tree like that. And we want to get there quickly. What you plant is a seed. You plant
Mm.
something very small.
Mm.
And I think we've got to become more okay with things remaining small for a while in the United States
Mm.
and allow that seed and learn how to put the DNA into that seed.
Mm.
Because inside that DNA is everything that's needed to become a big tree.
Mm.
And so the focus that we need to do is how do you have the right DNA? How do we, and not just for yourself, but we need to work on this ourselves and others, work on this together of how do
Mhm.
we have the right DNA to make disciples that make disciples, to be the type of people that we want
Mm.
disciples being made from. And so
Mhm.
um, when I mentioned in the first section, the first podcast, that I was involved with city team in San Jose, and they were experiencing a movement with several hundred churches that expanded. It jumped 5 different times in different countries because we were working with immigrant populations. They would take it back to their country. And what was interesting is each time it jumped overseas, it's accelerated, it spread faster.
Mm.
And it just told me, even though it's the same people, the same culture, when things are in the United States, they move slower. And I've been doing this
Mm.
for 20 years, and I haven't
Mm.
seen a lot, particularly in the majority culture,
Mhm.
uh, of this fast movement. And I think we just have to recognize that it's going to be some time, be patient with it, learn to do our part, and wait for God to cause the wind to blow. We do see more movement in some of the fringes, in the prisons and the poor, and the immigrants communities.
Mhm.
Those are more fertile fields right now in the United
Mhm.
States than the majority culture.
Mhm.
Uh, but if you're not called to that, if you're called in the majority culture, my encouragement is to you is just stay faithful. Really, what do we want? Do we want disciples to make other disciples? We want disciples that are obedient. We want disciples that match the Matthew 28 description of what Jesus says, to make disciples that are
Mhm.
baptized, that are all in for God,
Mhm.
that put Him
Mhm.
as God, and those who are connected with Jesus, following Him. And lo, I will be with you to the ends of the earth. We want those who are connected and being empowered and directed and led by Jesus.
Mhm.
That's the type of disciple that we want to become. That's the type of disciple that we want to make.
Mhm.
And so this is what we want to stay focused on,
Mhm.
and stay with it.
Mhm. Can you that's such a good word, bro. Can you, as we kind of close out here in the next couple of minutes with you, can you give us some resources? I know you're with New Generations.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a prayer summit coming up in September. I'll be attending with Jeff and Lord willing some others from here. Yeah, so not necessarily having to plug that, but if you do have anything that you can give us, any of our listeners that are, especially in North America, if they want to get some resources through you or New Generations, ways to connect with you, things like that, can you pass along any information?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned prayer, and obviously God wants us to grow in the area of prayer.
Hmm.
Um, Disciple making movements fly on the wings of relationships, that they fly on the wings of prayer. Prayer is critical. We do have a prayer summit coming up in Kansas City. Um, I don't have the dates right in front of me of
I
that.
think it's September 17, 18.
Yeah, we can put in the notes
And
too.
I think we had Robert on. I think they can go to newgenerations.org
Mm.
They can
and
find
find
that.
the information there to sign up. But yeah, I'll look it up real quick. But I think it's September 17, 18.
Yep.
Anybody that's
We
listening.
also have a website that provides various tools for how to pray for movements. And
Hmm.
we've learned a lot from the Africans who pioneered prayer for movements. And we think that prayer is, if we want more prayer, we just pray more, more effective prayer. We pray louder or more often. But there's
Hmm.
more to prayer for movements than that. And
Hmm.
so there's some resources on movementprayer.org that would be helpful for engaging in prayer.
Hmm.
Um, there's New Generations has training, and then there's several number of organizations that offer training for movements. New Generations
Hmm.
offers disciple making movement training, but there's other movement training available.
Hmm.
We call it the Habits of a Disciple Maker, and it's a typically 7 session training.
Hmm.
And my suggestion is try and find a group of people to take it together, that don't
Hmm.
just jump on as an individual. Try and find others, and that you can encourage each other.
Hmm.
One of the things that we find is that people take the training by themselves, and as Americans, we just want to figure it out ourselves. We don't want anybody coaching us.
Hmm.
That was me. I did that
Hmm.
for many years,
Hmm.
and this is a paradigm shift. It's hard to do. As simple as it is, as easy as it looks, it's still hard to do. It's hard to remain faithful at it, and you need others. You need to do it
Hmm.
together. And if
Hmm.
you already have people that you can do this together with, then take the training together. That would be the best way.
Hmm. Can you say, I don't put you on the spot here because I don't know your full role, but you said shepherding
Inside
inside
coach.
coach. If people can people gain access to your coaching? Is that something you offer, or and if not, that's okay. But can is there a way to connect with you directly if people are listening and need some
Well,
help?
um, I have some bandwidth. I couldn't, but what I'm doing right now is I'm training an organization so that they have learn about coaching so they can do
Yeah,
coaching, and
fantastic.
so that's probably more effective than my trying to coach everybody.
Hmm.
Is providing some and and kind of my role as a coach is more than just talking to the people once a month. We have what we call a scorecard. We have certain goals that we're looking for, and the
Hmm.
goals are kind of what the end result are.
Hmm.
You have what we call lead measures. The
Hmm.
goals will be the lag measures, the things that
Hmm.
we hope will happen. The lead
Hmm.
measures are the things that we think will help lead up to the lag measures. And
Hmm.
so by looking at helping to look at these measures, we
Hmm.
find that it helps people focus on what the end result is.
Hmm. That's awesome.
Also, we have a set of principles that are critical towards to make movements, such as abundant prayer,
Hmm.
effective engagement, and searching for persons of peace. And so, one of the things that the coach does is we have some standards that we evaluate, and we'll ask the person, "How are you doing in the area of prayer? How's your
Hmm.
team doing in praying? How are they? How
Hmm.
effective is your outreach? How are you doing in these things?" And then
Hmm.
that gives us an area to compare that and keep us focused on the critical elements that are going to help us eventually come to movements.
Yeah. Well, great. I really appreciate that clarity. I want to maybe piggyback off of that as we close, and Jeff, we'll give you some words here. But if you're listening and you're like Rob, if like me, like Jeff, maybe like Tom, who have said we've tried and sometimes we try to do it alone, for a while, and we tend to kind of want to just kind of carve our own way. If you're listening and you do find yourself with a small band of people, or you think you might have a small band, I want to encourage you to get in touch with us. We're here in Northern Colorado. You can go to our website, dmmnoco.com. You can get in touch with us through our email. It's all on the website. But maybe as a starting point, if you're looking for a place to go and to start, we don't offer coaching to everyone either. We're just one little group here, but maybe just again to just kind of stoke the embers of that flame and see where the Lord might take that. So that's something I just want to throw out there to everybody listening, especially if you feel like you're going at it alone and you need some encouragement. Get in touch and we'll see where the Lord would take that. And then Jeff, I don't know if you want to. I'll pass
Yeah,
it to you,
well,
Jeff. Yeah, close this out here.
Could I just add one thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
The president of New Generations has said that there's two things that are needed. You need a catalyst, something to get something started, and you need a coach to keep it moving forward. And so we feel that training up coaches and there's a need for coaching to go along with that to make things to continue. Also, I have a website for the Jesus Strategy, thejesusstrategy.com. And there's scripture sets in there, something we talked about at the last podcast. And there's some resources of books and some other resources. And there's many resources out there, but that is one place that also you could go to find some resources that would help you in disciple making movement.
That's awesome.
That's great. So, Tom, thank you, my friend, and our brother, for downloading so much. I think I would like to kind of land the plane with this, is that you gave us an awful lot, which was great. But what I want to point out is you had said early on, you weren't professional clergy. That was not your background. That was not your lot in life. You were a businessman. And I think it's important for us to highlight because, again, both Rudy and I have been in full-time ministry for countless years. A lot of the guests we've had on recently are in full-time ministry. I think it's important for our listeners to know that it's not just for professional clergy. It's for any follower of Jesus who wants to highlight and lean into and fully obey the Great Commission. And so those of us that have gained from 3 podcasts, if you download, it's just important to mention that it wasn't because you had said yes to full-time professional clergy in a Western culture. So if you're out there and you think, oh, well, I'm not professionally trained, I'm not a pastor, then listen to what Tom said. You could still be active in being a disciple and a disciple maker. So anyway, Tom, thank you very much. Look forward to hanging with you. I assume you'll be in Kansas City, September 18 and 19. I assume you're going to be there?
Yep.
Rudy and I and a couple other guys from Northern Colorado will be there. So anyway, to our listening audience, you've got 3 great podcasts from our friend Tom Marshall.
Yeah,
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it, guys. Thanks, Jeff, for that engaging download. In DMM, we like to say that disciples are learners. I know I'm learning a lot from my conversations with you, Jeff. From all of us in DMM NOCO, we hope you got a DMM download from the conversation today. Don't forget to leave this podcast a review wherever you are listening online. If you found this conversation helpful, please head over to our site, dmmnoco.com, where you can find more content for your DMM journey, including a self-paced Habits of a Multiplying Disciple course. The course is designed to give you practical next steps to becoming a DMM practitioner and multiplying disciple maker. You can take that course for free at dmmnoco.com. We will be back next week with another engaging DMM download episode. Until then, may you hear from God through His Spirit and take simple steps of obedience in what you hear.